The studio standby was all the firemen were on any set where they had the open flame. And whenever somebody got hurt, they'd say, "Fireman, we need you." So I was on a set with Walter Matthau and Lemon. They were making this picture, and they were in an apartment house, second floor, and they had a clothes shoot. And the Grips had set it up, and they had moved a dolly over, which was 11 feet high, so that when you came out of the chute, you landed on some mattresses. So they took this dolly away, and then Walter Matthau came back from lunch, and I'm standing there, and he gets up and he says, "How am I going to get in this thing?" And he was in that chute, and all of a sudden his hands let go, and he went out in the air and went down 11 feet and landed on the bottom. And they went, "Fireman!" And I went running down there and had called for the rescue. And got down to Walter, started checking his head and checking his neck and checking his things. And when the paramedics came in, Walter was athletic. He was an ex-pro basketball player. And he was starting to get antsy now. He wanted to get up. And so the paramedics came in, and they says, "Please, Mr. Matthau, please lay still." And he started wiggling, and, "Please, Mr. Matthau." And I looked at him and said, "God dang it, you lay still, Walter." And he laid still, and they took him away. And then later on, he gave me a letter of thank you. But those are some of the things that happened that are funny. The memory of my first fires, the big fires, as a captain, were interesting. It was Vaughn's, where that big complex there was totally in fire. It came in as a fire in a trash bin, and I'm first on scene.
And where was this? Where was the Vaughn's located?
Where Vaughn's is located now, at Studios.
Corner of Jefferson and Overland.
Yes. And so as I was coming in, I called for the world. Said, "We got a fire here." And we laid a line. We were on the backside. We laid the line, and then we laddered with our ladders to get up on top. The other engines were coming in. LA City came in, and they were trying to get in the back door. And right next to the back door was the power unit, where all the breakers are now, with a big door there. And they are on the stoop, and there's a gas that comes through the lines when the fire inside. It comes like a conduits and creates a gas, and the breakers are igniting this gas, which blew the door open and knocked 5 of the LA firemen 10 feet out on top of their car outside. And that's was a big bang, but it didn't hurt them. And I grabbed a citizen off the street, and who happened to be later on one of the chiefs of the department, Olson was his name, Fireman Olson, and landed and took a 2.5 up on top of the line, up top of the roof, grabbed a citizen, "You come and help us." Took him up there, and went to the over front. They had a fake front, and on that fake front, fire will travel down that to all the other buildings on down the line. So I took him over to that area with a 2.5, put a hole in it, put it on a full spray, and it says, "All right, you open that up and you don't shut it down, you hold it right there and don't do anything else," and left him there. Later on, that guy I picked up and pulled over there was arrested for arson. I couldn't believe it. And that's what the arson investigators do when they're at the fire. They watch the people to see which ones look a little suspicious.